Are you someone who keeps putting things off? Actually, we've all faced the same struggle. We had ambitious goals, but that lazy voice inside us always held us back. That's why we created a system designed to help you break this cycle. 4 different habit calendars, a science-based ebook, short videos, and an audio guide version for those who just want to listen. If you want lasting change through small steps, this is an opportunity you don't want to miss. Sometimes you meet someone, and even before you know much about them, a voice inside whispers, "Don't trust this person." Or the opposite, you hear just a few words, and your gut says, "This person is different, honest, genuine." That inner voice has already processed millions of pieces of information in seconds and reached a decision. But what is that decision based on? Their eyes? Their tone of voice? A sense? I've always been curious about this inner voice. Why do we instantly warm up to some people while keeping distance from others, even before they've said a word? One day I decided to investigate. Psychology, behavioral science, and neuroscience all said the same thing. First impressions are not random. They are systematic judgments. And yes, we can form an opinion about someone in just 10 seconds, often without even realizing it. But the good news is you can also do this consciously. In this video, I'll show you how to read a person's personality in 10 seconds. I'll share shortcuts to understanding people using scientific data, examples, and a bit of observation. Sometimes a single glance says it all. Have you ever felt uncomfortable with someone's gaze? Wanted to look away? Or the opposite, looked into someone's eyes and felt, "This person values me"? Eye contact is far more powerful than we think. Psychologists say eye contact isn't just a communication tool, it's a trust test. Too long a stare can feel like pressure, even a threat, while too short or evasive eye contact sends a different message. "I'm not here. I'm afraid of you. I might be lying." Interestingly, studies show that people can judge whether someone is trustworthy in just 3 seconds of eye contact, and these judgments are often accurate. Imagine meeting someone in a cafe. They avoid eye contact, blink excessively, or constantly shift their eyes. You sense something is off, but can't explain why. That feeling comes from your brain's System 1, which operates in the background and often tells us a lot. So one of the first things to notice when meeting someone should be, how are they looking at me? If eye contact is warm, steady but soft, it's likely a sign of trustworthiness. If the gaze is evasive, maybe they're wearing a mask. When someone smiles at you, are they genuinely happy or just being polite? The secret lies in microexpressions, tiny, often barely noticeable facial cues that the brain is an expert at reading. I once watched a video of an FBI agent spotting a 0.2-second microexpression during interrogation. Even though the person appeared confident, a quick furrow of the eyebrows revealed a lie. Microexpressions work like this. If someone feels anger inside but tries to smile, subtle inconsistencies in their facial muscles give away their true feelings. A brief eyebrow raise can signal surprise or fear. Tightly pressed lips indicate suppressed anger, and a smile without eye engagement is fake. So how do we notice these signs? Slow down. Focus on the body, not just the words. Words can lie, but the face rarely does. For example, someone says, "Nice to meet you," but their eyes aren't squinting in a genuine smile and their mouth corners are tense. They're probably thinking, "Not really glad to meet you." Microexpressions are tiny but powerful. They reveal the human soul unintentionally. If you want to know what someone is really thinking, watch their hands and body, not just listen to their words. Minds can be controlled. Bodies often betray the inner voice. In one meeting, someone spoke confidently with a trustworthy tone, but their hands stayed hidden under the table. I immediately sensed a lack of full confidence. Later, I realized that hidden hands often signal unease. Psychologists confirm this. Open palms convey transparency and honesty, while hands behind the back or in pockets suggest concealment. Constantly moving hands can indicate anxiety or excitement, while completely still, hands may show fear of losing control. Arms crossed signal defense, leaning forward shows interest, slumped shoulders can indicate fatigue, hopelessness, or low confidence. Body language is a map. If you learn to read it, you can see emotions words try to hide. If someone says, "I'm fine," but their body says, "I want to escape," the body is always right. Physical distance is another clue. Some people come almost too close when talking. Others create invisible walls. This distance reflects how comfortable they feel with you, but often we overlook it. Research shows physical distance reveals personality, social trust, and intent. Someone who gets very close may be genuinely warm or overstepping boundaries. Someone who keeps distance might be shy, cautious, or asserting power. How they carry this distance, relaxed or tense, tells even more. First sentences are like a person's business card. No one says the first sentence randomly. It reflects their mindset, interests, and ego. For example, someone says, "So what field are you in?" It's friendly and curious, suggesting they're polite and socially intelligent. "I'm very busy these days." A subtle hint at productivity and status. The first sentence is a psychological showcase. Some highlight success, others power, others kindness or attention-seeking. Listening closely helps you understand how they see themselves and how they want to be seen. Even tiny promises reveal trustworthiness. Someone says, "I'll message you later," but doesn't. This small action tells you more about reliability than big words. I call this a pocket test of character. Likewise, tone of voice carries huge clues. Fast, loud speech can signal dominance, anxiety, or urgency. Quiet, slow speech may suggest shyness or low confidence. Monotone voices may indicate control or emotional suppression. Fluctuating tones can signal empathy or instability. Speech rhythm matters too. If someone suddenly slows after a question, they're likely thinking carefully. If they speed up, they may be rushing to persuade or evade. The voice is the window to the heart. If you listen closely, you hear more than words. To test character, observe how people treat those with no status: janitors, cleaners, call center staff, or anyone considered unimportant. If someone is rude, dismissive, or ignores them, keep your distance. True character is revealed where there's no audience. All these signals, eye contact, microexpressions, hand movements, distance, tone, are processed by the brain in seconds through a concept called thin slicing, described by Malcolm Gladwell in Blink. Our brain can draw accurate conclusions from brief impressions as reliably as long analyses. It observes gaze, tone, posture, and first words, and in seconds decides, this person is trustworthy. This person may manipulate me. This person is good for me. I should be careful. Thin slicing can mislead if influenced by past experiences or biases, but used correctly, it's a superpower. You can consciously train yourself to interpret these rapid judgments and develop intuitive intelligence. Getting to know someone can take hours, days, or months, but your brain sometimes does it in 10 seconds. Survival instincts favor fast decisions, relying on eyes, tone, microexpressions, and body language. Now that you know these clues, when you meet someone, pay attention not just to what they say, but how they look, how they stand, and how close they are. This makes you a sharper observer and gives you an edge. But a warning, these tools are for understanding, not labeling. Quick judgments are helpful, but true connections require patience. The insights shared here are tools to enhance your intuitive intelligence. The better you know these tools, the more effective a communicator you become. There was so much more to share, but to keep this video concise, I'll stop here. The rest will depend on the interest you show. If you enjoyed this video, leaving a like or a comment is enough for me to know whether to continue creating content. And don't forget to subscribe. Unfortunately, 70% of viewers aren't subscribed. Finally, tell me in the comments, what's the first thing you notice when meeting someone?